Hey, what's up, everyone? You're here with Goran and Jack from PickDawgz. Thank you for joining us. We are here to talk about the big slate of Saturday games that we have on the schedule, and we are still giving Kirk a break, Jack. We are letting him cool off his balls, so to speak, in Italy, and eat some pasta, drink some good beer before he has to go back to that American stuff that they call beer. Hopefully, he enjoys his time, and he'll be back with us sooner rather than later. I think for the Champions League videos, he should be here, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and now that we mentioned it, we do have Champions League games next week, guys. Couple of days, 18 games in total. It's gonna be another fun week, and then uh, we also have premium picks on the PickDawgz.com website. You can put both of us together in that 2-for-1 capper promotion. You can get our separate passes. But now it's definitely the time to get on those long-term passes, guys. 3 day, 7 day, whatever you want to get on now. There's a lot of games, a lot of NBA. I know Jack's been killing it in the NBA. There's NFL. There's whatever else is going on. I know baseball's down.
College,
There's hockey
pretty
going
much
on.
everything
College.
college, you name it.
There we go. There's a lot of stuff, guys. So definitely get on those long-term passes. And we also have the golden goal consensus, which are the best bets between myself, Kirk, and Jack. Text the word goal to 443-332-7127, and we'll get you signed up with that. Just have in mind, these are not just soccer picks, guys. We will definitely be including NBA and NFL that Kirk and Jack are doing. I can maybe contribute with a stupid comment when it comes to those sports, but hey, you're definitely making money on those as well.
At the end of
Now,
the day,
Jack,
Goran, three brains are always better than one.
exactly. I completely agree. That's why this is a month-long pass that is designed for those people who don't shy away from putting more money on a single bet, on a single pick, and basically doubling your money after you get a win. Jack, as usual, kicking it off with the EPL on Saturday. It's a busy slate overall. I believe you have like 20 games, maybe, or something on the list here. And kicking it off with a Burnley versus Chelsea matchup in the EPL.
Yeah. I hate it. Like the fact that we're coming back from international break, and then you've got obviously these Saturday games, Sunday games, and then you've got Champions League again in the week. It does, make these kind of spots a little bit not as you don't feel as confident. That being said, Chelsea's depth. I've said all season, Chelsea's depth are always reliable. They've always got players being hungry. They're pretty much still in every single competition, so everyone's getting play time, which is going to help players. They're going to be match fit. They're always going to be. Players aren't coming in from resting for three months because they haven't got game time. So I think that helps Chelsea here. I think Burnley, yes, they haven't got that many players that have been away, but they're still going to be rusty. They still haven't been playing any games. They haven't had any friendlies. I think Chelsea, do the business on the road here. They haven't been that reliable when I have taken them, but for me, I think the -1 is just a safer option, as I always say. They're probably winning this game. If they do, you get a push at minimum. So give me Chelsea -1.
Yeah, Chelsea are the favorites for a reason here. And I know that we're coming off the international break, so we have to be careful with a lot of these teams. And like you said, Champions League week next week, you never know what lineup is going to be there. But I mean, EPL is a very important competition for Chelsea, so I don't assume that they will be putting out the backup lineup or whatever. I'm taking a bit of a trend here, Jack. It's been a very long time since the under 2.5 hit in this matchup when Burnley was actually the home team. I believe it was back in 2017, which is a long, long streak and a lot of games in between. So I'm just taking the over 2.5. It's -125. I like the price on this. I think this is an early game, so I will not be putting in it as a premium, but I like this pick a lot. Kirk is taking João Pedro to score or assist in this game at -130. Now he plays for Chelsea. Next up, we have Brighton and Brentford. Jack, these two teams are fairly even, I would say, quality wise. Separated, well, they are even on points in the EPL this season. Brighton still undefeated at home this season, though. Does that affect your decision on the pick?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Brighton have always been solid. I can say it for myself. I mean, they're pretty much Tottenham's bogey team, City's bogey team. You know, these big teams tend to struggle when they go to Brighton. Don't know what it is because, you know, the stadium isn't that big. They're more of like a family team, if that makes sense. You know, they're very like PG. Um, so yeah, I don't know what it is, but they get it done. And Brentford on the road, you know, they've had some results here and there. They beat West Ham on the road, but it feels like everyone's beating West Ham, and that is pretty much about it. So I'll take Brighton here. I mean, the price is really good. Again, a few key players that have been away on international break, but most of them have been training still. So I'll take Brighton at home.
Yeah, I got nothing else
In
to
fact,
add
no,
to
I
this. I
won't.
think
Sorry. I've got both teams to score.
um,
I don't know what the play is. In fact, I'll probably take Brighton and both teams to score because Brentford do score. They just concede a ton on the road. So yeah, I'll correct my play. It is both teams to score, but chuck Brighton money line in there as well, or take either or. You got two for free.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. And there's nothing else for me to add. I think Brighton at home are better than Brentford is on the road. And I mean at this price, I think we have to take them -108. Kirk is getting them at -110 on the money line at home. Next up, Jack, we have Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. We know Kirk's opinion on Nottingham Forest. Do you did you change your opinion on them, considering they have been playing slightly better? However, they're still without a single win on the road.
Well, Espirito Sancho, Nuno Espirito Sancho. Or
Yeah.
Sanyo, or I don't remember what his fucking name is. Um, he's looking like he's going to turn this team around, but it's definitely going to be a work in progress. I mean, they've only lost one of their
Although,
last
sorry,
five.
I do have to correct you though.
Go on.
He's been fired a long time ago from Forest. It's Sean Dyche now who's the coach of Nottingham Forest.
Is it? Oh
So
well, I
is
look
it,
like an
it
absolute idiot.
it was Nuno Espirito Santo, then it was Ange, now it's Sean Dyche.
I thought they brought him back in after Ange, but yeah, it is Sean Dyche, isn't
No,
it? Oh, it's Sean Dyche,
well,
yeah,
it's
Sean Dyche.
basically the same thing. Sean
Yeah, it
Dyche and
is.
Nuno
I mean, they
Espirito.
play very similar.
It's
You know, like Nuno's style of football just hasn't changed since he left Wolves. He tried it at Spurs, failed miserably, got fired in a month. And Sean Dyche plays
yeah.
similar, you know, as what he taught at Burnley, what he taught the players at Burnley. He did the exact same at Everton, and Everton just struggled. But still, same thing applies. I mean, it's kind of been working for now, but definitely a work in progress. Again, Forest have European football in the week, and honestly, at this stage, I know it's still early. You probably have to consider Forest will likely be prioritizing the Europa League. You know, you win Europa League, you get Champions League, and you know now teams aren't dropping into Europa League. It makes that run a little bit easier. So, look, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think Forest's priority is to definitely make sure they get some good ground in Europe, but they need to get out the relegation zone still. So, yeah, tough one to really ride with. Let's not forget, you know, Forest also beat Liverpool at Anfield last season, the first defeat for Liverpool at Anfield in a very long time. Tough one to read, but again, I just think Liverpool do the business here. If they don't start winning games, they're not going to have any chance of winning this title. You could probably argue it's gone already, but I will go Liverpool half-time, full-time. Was thinking about to nil. I just don't trust the Liverpool defense right now. They are tending to concede late in the second half and so on. So I'll just take them at half-time, full-time for plus money.
Yeah, Liverpool definitely has to get going, and I mean they haven't been looking particularly well. And when you watch them play, it's quite boring to be honest. They're looking more like Arsenal than Liverpool from last season. It's like they go around the pitch like 18 times before they make a vertical pass forward, I don't know, towards Ekitike or Isak or whoever ends up playing. Uh, I mean, Florian Wirtz is being called a flop because he's not being allowed to play the football style he was playing in Leverkusen that made him a fantastic number 10 on the pitch, right? And he just doesn't have that freedom in this Liverpool team. Salah is not even the shadow of a player he used to be, of course, and that it's certainly understandable. But why is he being favored so much ahead of even Chiesa? I think who could bring more on the pitch than Salah does at this point. However, I do think they win this game. They are heavy favorites, so I decided to stay away from the sides, and I'm taking over 4 cards in this one at plus 101. I think that Forest will have to consider getting some yellows here to stop Liverpool. And we know that Liverpool, on some, I guess, on some counter attacks they will be facing for sure, they might have to resolve to that as well if they want to get a win or maybe even keep a clean sheet. Kirk is taking Liverpool -1.5 at plus 112. Next up, Jack, we have Wolverhampton versus Crystal Palace. We won't be talking about every single EPL game for the weekend, but is this international break, was this a good thing for the Wolves? And is this maybe potentially a sort of a turning point for this team since they are horrible? They have 2 points only so far this season and they have 5 straight losses.
I mean, even though they're playing bad, Wolves, the issue is they're a very like international team, and their players are like a lot of their players are stars of their national team. Like Huang, their left winger, is literally like a solid starter, certified starter for South Korea. Larson, I don't know if he did play for Norway, but he probably gets in behind Haaland, probably gets minutes behind Haaland. So yeah, we'll have to see, I guess. It's tough to really tell with the last international breaks and how bad Wolves have been. The way I'm looking at this game is the head-to-head history. This game is averaging 4.7 goals a game in this head-to-head in the last 4 games. So the fact that we're getting this price on over 2.5 here is just it's a no-brainer to me. I feel like I've got my chips in good.
Yeah, when you think of these two teams and their matchups, you would probably not consider goals. But then again, surprisingly enough, we've seen a shit ton of goals in this matchup lately. And I think this, I mean, the only way Wolves are getting a win out of this one is if they outscore Crystal Palace. I mean, there's just no way they keep a clean sheet. Something very strange would have to happen for Palace not to score a goal, even though they are on the road. So both teams to score for me at -115. Honestly, this could potentially be one of the premium picks for the day. The price is just so good. I definitely hate to miss it. Kirk obviously disagrees with us, Jack. He's taking the under 2.5 at -128. Last game of the day in the EPL, Jack. Newcastle versus Manchester City. Both teams playing in the Champions League next week. Newcastle is playing against Marseille on the road. City is hosting Leverkusen. This is going to be an exciting game. Now, Newcastle hasn't lost a home game in a while, Jack. It's been Arsenal at the end of September that's beaten them last. After that, they went on a 4-game winning streak at home. But City is looking pretty well right now. I mean, beating Bournemouth, beating Dortmund, and beating Liverpool in their last 3 games. Uh, they have been a little bit sloppier on the road, but if this international break is not going to hurt them, I think that they're going to get another easy win here.
Yeah, kind of disappointing in City's perspective that the international break came when it did, because you just go and beat Liverpool 3-0 after beating Dortmund, right? Like, that's insane.
And they have a lot of players going for national teams.
Exactly, like pretty much
everyone, I think.
Yeah, pretty much every single one. So yeah, the fact that you go 7-1 aggregate score in those 2 games over Dortmund and Liverpool is huge, and it's not the City that we saw for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the year. That being said, like you said, Newcastle are doing really good at home. I just don't see either team right now keeping the other team from scoring. So it's very simple, both teams to score.
I could see that. I was expecting that against Liverpool for City as well. I expected Liverpool to score a goal. They had that goal. They had that goal taken away at the end of the first half. I think Van Dijk scored a header.
Yeah, horrible
and it
decision.
was an offside. I mean, that's an automatic offside according to the rules, which it's just stupid. The guy he was not in the line of sight of the
Yeah.
ball. The goalkeeper had no problem seeing the ball. He wasn't interrupting goalkeeper in making a trying to make a save. It just I don't know why was that disallowed. To be honest, it was a stupid decision. I agree, but they just can't get a clear definition of what an offside is in this situation and what actually a handball is when it comes to penalties. Because they would give a free kick if there's a handball outside of the box, but the same type of a handball inside the box is
It's
not a penalty
consistency.
somehow. I mean, if it's a fall outside of the box, why is it not a penalty then for the same thing inside the box? It's just so stupid, and
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about these rules that they make. But in this one, I'm simply gonna take City on the money line plus 103. Newcastle has a few injuries. They have a midweek game on the road. Might be focusing a little bit more on the Champions League. We'll see. But I think City gets another win. And both teams to score for Kirk in this one. After Serie A, Jack, Udinese and Bologna. Udinese has been solid so far this season, but Bologna has been playing really well.
Yeah. In all fairness, it's hard for me to not see Bologna scoring at least twice in this game. But at the same time, I mean, Udinese, they haven't lost at home since September. So, you consider the fact that both teams, again, coming from international break, I'm going to try and stop sounding like a broken record. I just think this one's going to be a slow start. Bologna trying to get back to the form that they were starting in. Like I said, they probably do score twice, but I can see this being a very slow start. So I'll take the draw in the first half at plus money. I don't think it's going to be an open game by any means.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add. I have the exact same pick, plus 103. I think it's going to be a slow start to the game. Might be a slow game as well, like a full 90 minutes. Kirk has the draw at plus 220. Next up, Fiorentina and Juventus, and I'm gonna have exact same pick I had for Udinese Bologna here. Uh, I mean, Jack, Fiorentina has been garbage this season in Serie A, absolutely horrendous. They cannot beat anyone. But then again, you have Juventus who is just gaining a little bit of momentum. Again, the international break came at the wrong time for them. But I think that they might be slightly more focused on the Champions League they have next week rather than this game against Fiorentina on the road. That they are playing against Bodo Glimt on the road, a game which they need to win because I think that they're still winless when it comes to the Champions League.
Yeah, they are. They drew 3, lost 1, I believe, if my memory serves me well, because we spoke about it.
Draw 2, lost 1.
2.
Actually, 3. No, you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah.
They had a draw against Sporting as well, 1-1.
Yeah. Look, for me, I just have to play kind of the streak, not the streak in a sense of it doesn't matter who Juventus are playing against on the road. They will always play the same, and that is making sure you defend and at least guarantee yourself a point. It clearly didn't work for them last year. For some reason, they still continue to do it. And, 6 of the last 7 of this tie played at Fiorentina has gone under 2.5. So again, I know it's a little bit juiced for an under, and I know on paper it's probably scary. You just have to look at the way both of these teams play. Really, Fiorentina play very similar to Juventus at home as Juventus do on the road. So yeah, under for me.
And Kirk is taking Juventus on the money line at plus 100 on the road. Next up, we have an interesting matchup, Jack. We have Napoli versus Atalanta. Now, Napoli, I think that they were just eagerly waiting for that international break as they haven't been playing particularly well. But so far at home this season, they are 4-1. Uh, they're playing pretty solid football at home. They're not scoring a lot of goals, not overall, not at home. Atalanta, I mean, they did change their manager. I don't think they hired a permanent one just yet, but this is a very schizophrenic team that we can't really rely on.
Yeah, I think I can honestly, I can lean to the draw as well, but Napoli now find themselves in a bit of a predicament. They've led the league for pretty much the whole season up to now because they're 2 points behind Inter in first whilst they sit in fourth. So I think you're just going to see them ramp up, you have to have a good push till Christmas now. International break came at a great time. They haven't won in the last two. Disappointing on the road to Bologna, disappointing at home to Como. Now's the chance that you have to take advantage of the name of Atalanta when they're at their weakest, which is, like you said, no manager. So, yeah, I have to take Napoli to win here. The fact it's plus money, I doubt you'll get this if they're, top two, top three come March or February. So I'll take advantage of that now.
Yeah, Napoli actually lost twice in a row at home against Atalanta, and both of those games were 3-0 for Atalanta. I know that Napoli has a bunch of injuries, so they're missing De Bruyne, they're missing Alex Meret, who is their starting goalkeeper. Even though their backup goalkeeper has been doing a very good job, Lukaku is still out. Spinazzola apparently is out, and Billy Gilmore. But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Billy Gilmore play for Scotland and scored a goal now? Scored a winner
Um, no, I don't.
in
I
their
don't think.
last
I
game?
don't think he even went with. I don't even think he went to Scotland.
Mm,
I'm pretty sure he didn't even go on international break. But Billy Gilmore, by the way, Chelsea came kind of through like the projects of Chelsea. From Rangers, went to Chelsea. It's just quite surprising. Napoli just seem to think like because McTominay's done really well, like maybe Scottish players are just like made for the Italian league. But yeah,
yeah,
Napoli for me are just the only play for me in this game.
it was Kieran Tierney who scored, not Billy Gilmore. My
Correct.
bad.
Yeah.
Against Denmark. Anyways, yeah, I'm taking Napoli as well, plus 128. I mean, we are getting a super good plus money on Napoli at home. So I have to go with it. Under 2.5 for Kirk at minus 136. In La Liga, Jack, the first game we have is Alaves versus Celta Vigo. And honestly, I think that both teams to score is a steal here. I won't even look at anything further than that. I'm taking both teams to score. It's plus 101.
It's very rare you get the books offering plus 200 flat on a draw, which tells me they're scared of the draw. It's tough. Alaves is solid home form. Celta Vigo have actually been getting points on the road. Yeah, I'll take the draw here. I think the books are really telling us a bit of a hint on how this one ends. Not a premium play by any means, but again, if you're asking me for a play from this game, it's draw.
Yeah, Celta Vigo actually won 4 straight games on the road. Osasuna, then a lower division team, then Levante, then Dinamo Zagreb in the Europa League, and then they lost at home to Barcelona. While Alaves, I mean, a solid team, like you said, Jack. They're scoring a decent amount of goals this season. 11 goals in 12 games, but they've also conceded 11 goals. And then you have Celta Vigo scoring 15 and conceding 18 goals in 12 games this season. So there's barely any defense within these two teams. And that is the reason why I'm taking both teams to score. Jack is taking Alaves at home on the money line.
Kirk.
Next up, we have Barcelona versus Bilbao. Jack, Barcelona looking to extend that winning streak, while Bilbao is looking to get a better result, I suppose, because they haven't been looking good at all this season.
Yeah, I'm right in thinking Barcelona. This is the first game back to Camp Nou.
Yeah.
But they're not they're not at full capacity still.
No, I think like 40,000 people.
Yeah, which is still a lot. It's probably more than most La Liga teams. And
Yeah.
I bet you those tickets aren't going to be cheap. So yeah, everyone who wants to go there will be there, and I think Barcelona will definitely be happy back on true home soil. And look, they're going to want to put on a show, right? You don't want to lose on your first game back. So yeah, again, Champions League coming up in a week. I think Barca just dominate this game. They try and get started early. They have been good and reliable in first half money lines. So I'll just take them at halftime and full time here at plus money. Again, a great price.
Well, I think a great thing for Barcelona is the fact that Lamine Yamal hasn't been playing for Spain during the international break. They're still missing Rafinha, who's still listed as injured, but I think he's getting close to being ready. Maybe like 30 minutes or so in this game, and maybe start in the Champions League. Pedri is going to be out for another couple of weeks or something like that. But overall, they're fairly healthy right now. Lewandowski scored a hat trick in his last game, and that certainly is going to be a huge boost for them if they can get him going. Uh, I mean, Bilbao, surprisingly, with all the talent they have up front, they haven't been scoring a lot. But with Barcelona's defensive issues, we all know that they have them. And keeping a clean sheet for Barcelona is going to be tough. But just because I say it, I think that if they keep a clean sheet against anyone, it's going to be against Bilbao because Bilbao is just not creating a lot in that attacking end. So uh, I was looking at Barca win and both teams to score, which is a good plus money, but I just decided to go with Barca to win and over 2.5 at -105. Make it a little bit safer, I suppose. Kirk is taking correct score here, Jack. He's taken 3-1 plus 1,000, which not a bad pick, I have to admit. I have it somewhere. I remember talking about it, so he stole that from me, I'm sure. Osasuna versus Sociedad, Jack. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, again, Osasuna games have been just just flip a coin, and whatever happens. They've been pretty unpredictable. Not in terms of result, but just more so in terms of how they approach the game. You know, you go from a 5 goal fest against Vigo at home, and then you suddenly don't score for like 2 more weeks against Oviedo, who seems to be conceding to everyone. I don't like this game. I just think Osasuna, now they've had the break, will be looking to get on the on the score sheet, and I don't see them getting a clean sheet. I think Real Sociedad are very capable of scoring a goal. Done it against Barca already this season. Done it against Betis already this season. If they can do it against those two guys, then I don't see Osasuna being a problem. So I'll take both teams to score.
Yeah, I'm going with a first half draw here at +102. These two teams are just not scoring a lot of goals in the first half. They're scoring a lot of late winners or equalizers and goals in the second half overall. But in the first half, they have been pretty poor. And I kind of expect a very slow start to this game in the first 45 minutes. Kirk is taking the draw at +200. Last game in La Liga, Jack, that we have is the matchup between Villarreal and Mallorca. Uh, Kirk now can't say his beautiful island spiel and whatever because they're playing on the road, but Mallorca has been pretty solid lately. Only one loss in their last 5 games.
Yeah, and they've been very good on the road, Mallorca. So look, maybe not sitting on the beach drinking those cocktails because they're on the road has actually helped Mallorca. But again, Villarreal, they need to get things going here in the league. They're in a really good position, but they need to continue. But you also want to make sure that you're performing in the Champions League. So again, I think this will be a matter of let's try and get the game won in the first half, make it comfortable for us to bring some stars off in the second, fit and rested for the week. So I'll just take Villarreal in the first half money line. Again, Villarreal wouldn't surprise me if they do concede late, considering Mallorca are riding this nice hot road streak. So yeah, I'll go first half money line with Villarreal.
Yeah, Mallorca has been solid on the road defensively, but Villarreal has been very, very good at home defensively with only 3 conceded goals. So I don't know. I mean, I'm going with the home favorite here, and that is Villarreal. But I had to put something in to get a better price. They have a hard game in the Champions League, Jack. They're playing against Dortmund on the road. That's not gonna be an easy game. And considering how poor Villarreal has been in the Champions League so far, they better keep their form up and get a win here ahead of that game. I'm taking Villarreal to win an over 1.5 -154, but it's just juiced, and I'm not a fan of my pick. Villarreal -1.5 at +122 for Kirk in this game. That's it for this league. Jack, moving on to Bundesliga, where we have Heidenheim and Borussia Mönchengladbach as the first game.
Yeah, I mean, Heidenheim need to do something, otherwise they're going to be relegated soon. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like. Just one win still this season, 5 points. Yikes. But again, it's the last international break now. Now's the time where you need to knuckle down. That's actually gonna happen is another question, because Gladbach on the road, they haven't been amazing, but they have managed to get some points here and there. So yeah, I'll take goals in this one. I think Gladbach can score. I think Heidenheim, most of their goals are coming at home. They're averaging over a goal a game at home, whereas they've just only scored 2 on the road this season. So yeah, both teams averaging over a goal a game. I think the overs play here. Good price. Give me that.
Yeah, Gladbach was one of those teams who did not look forward to the international break because they were on a nice 3-game winning streak. So definitely came at the wrong time for them. But Heidenheim, like you said, they have to get going. I think, I mean, they're just not good enough for Bundesliga this season. It's gonna be tough for them to stay above the relegation zone. They might be lucky enough to get into that playoff spot, but I think that's about their maximum that they can do, and maybe they can hope for the best after. I'm gonna take the goals as well, minus 147, and Kirk is going with the away team, and that is Borussia Mönchengladbach on the money line at plus 110. Next up, we have probably the biggest game of the week in Bundesliga, Jack. We have Borussia Dortmund, who we said is playing Villarreal in the Champions League next week at home, is hosting Stuttgart, who are also playing in the Champions League, and they are playing against actually Europa League is that where they're playing against Go Ahead Eagles on Thursday.
Yeah, Go Ahead Eagles actually been performing, haven't they? If I'm
Yeah,
all right, I think they beat Villa. Did they beat Villa? I don't
yeah, they
remember. They
beat
played
Villa.
against
Yeah,
Villa. I don't remember the result, but yeah, I think they might have.
2-1, I think.
Yeah. Stuttgart, I don't know. Again, like I think sometimes I feel like I have a misinterpreted perception of them, because they do play attacking football, but I feel like every time I turn the channel on, they're defending behind the ball with 10 men behind the ball. So I don't know if I'm just cursing them or what, but they're fourth in the league. So I just, maybe for Stuttgart fans' sake, I just need to keep them off the TV. Dortmund here the only way. Stuttgart definitely performing way better at home than they are on the road. Dortmund haven't been perfect at home, but they haven't lost at home. They've won 3, drew 1. So yeah, I think this is a really good spot to take them here. A really good price. Like I said, Stuttgart, they're sitting fourth in the league. Is that going to continue? I'd be surprised. I mean, Leverkusen look like they're catching them up. So yeah, I think Dortmund just win this game. It's a lean 2-1, maybe even a 1-0, something like that.
Yeah, Stuttgart at home, I would consider them in a matchup like this, but not on the road. I think Dortmund is just too good of a home team this season once again. I mean, overall, they're a very hard team to beat. And when you come to Signal Iduna Park, it just gets a lot harder. So I think Dortmund wins this one. Do I see 5 goals? God, I hope not. I'm taking
Dortmund have
Dortmund to
only
win.
conceded 1 goal at home, by the way, this season in the
Yeah,
Bundesliga, which is insane. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Dortmund win and under 4.5 goals at plus 142. I mean, that's a really good price. So I'm gonna go with that. And Kirk is taking Dortmund on the money line as well. Next up, we have Bayern Munich and Freiburg. Jack, Bayern getting that draw in their last Bundesliga game before the international break, 2-2 against Union Berlin. But Freiburg's been playing solid football, only one loss in their last 6, 2-game winning streak before the international break. They've been scoring a decent amount of goals. However, going to Allianz Arena to play against Bayern, that's a hard task for a lot stronger teams than Freiburg is.
Yeah, I'm taking the exact same play. I'm pretty sure I had this play for Bayern's last game. Didn't hit, unfortunately, because like you said, they drew to Union Berlin. I think they drew the first half and the second half. I think it was 1-1 and 2-2, if I
Yeah.
remember. The thing is, that was Bayern on the road. Like, yes, they're top of the Bundesliga on the road. That's fine. But at home, they're just a different caliber of team. They've only conceded once at home. They've scored 20 goals in 5 games. And with the Bayern halftime, full time, 5 games they've had at home, the Bayern halftime, full time has hit all 5 times. So the fact we're getting -161 against a Freiburg who are horrible this year, yeah, I'll be taking that as probably a bit of a freemium, to be honest.
We might have to consider the fact that Bayern is playing against Arsenal on the road in the Champions League next week. That's going to be an interesting game because we know that Arsenal likes to control the possession, but then again, you have Bayern who is capable of creating a shit ton of chances. Too bad we won't be seeing Luis Diaz in that one because of that red card. That would be an interesting player to have in a matchup like that. But they have a bunch of other players who are playing well. Like Gnabry has woken up finally. Harry Kane scoring a lot of goals. We know that Michael Olise is doing a great job as well. We'll talk more about that one in the video for the Champions League, Jack. In this one, I have to take Bayern to win an over 3.5 plus 113. I think they come out in the first 45 minutes, score 2 or 3 goals, and just get the job done and put it on cruise control for the rest of the match. Uh, Next up, another interesting matchup. Jack, Wolfsburg versus Bayer Leverkusen is a game. Leverkusen has a tough game in the Champions League, if I remember correctly, next week as well. They are playing on the road against Manchester City. That's going to be a tough one. But Wolfsburg has been absolutely horrendous this season. They're sitting 14th, which is above the relegation zone somehow, but they're still winless at home this season. And they actually, sorry, they haven't won any of their last 15 home games. That's just insanely long streak.
I don't understand how they are not in the relegation zone.
That's exactly the question.
Sorry, I was
How
just doing
bad are
maths
the
here. I
bottom
was just
four
doing
then?
maths here. They have lost 9 out of their last 10 games. How are they not in the relegation zone? I
Yeah.
don't understand that. They've won 1 game in their last 10 with 9 losses.
And haven't
How?
beaten anyone at home in 15 games.
How is that possible? Of course, that obviously runs into last season still, but that is absurd. And, Bayern are kind of doing the opposite on the road. If we do consider the Champions League, got a draw to Copenhagen, but they beat Benfica. I know Benfica haven't been great, but other than that, I mean, their loss to Bayern is like the only loss on the road this season. So, look, you've got a really horrible Wolfsburg team against a Bayer Leverkusen team who, if results go their way, and my math serves me well, they could go second if they win this game, depending on other results in the league. So, yeah, I'll take Bayer Leverkusen here, plus money. Arguably, probably the best money line plus money play of the day.
You see, that scares me though, because I know it's gonna sound
Yeah,
like
why? I want to know why.
it's gonna sound like a cliche, but for the love of God, at some point, Wolfsburg has to win a home game.
Yeah,
They
well,
haven't
they
won
can win that in
15.
a few years. That's fine.
I mean, they haven't won any of their last 15 home games. That's a lot. That's like a span of 25, 30 games
That's got to be
overall
a
that they
club
haven't.
record. That has to be a club record.
It's right. And
It has to be.
when I consider the fact that Leverkusen is playing against City on the road in the Champions League, I'm not sure what kind of a lineup to expect from them in this game. They are not under any pressure in Bundesliga. They have no illusions that they could potentially win in this season. So ending in the top four is probably their goal, and that they will be happy with it. That is why I think there could be money to be made potentially on Wolfsburg in this game. They are heavy underdogs. They're plus 250 right now. So, I mean, if you put less than half a unit on it, you're not losing a lot, but you could potentially win a decent amount of money if you put it on Wolfsburg. And like I said, they have to win at some point at home. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm taking both teams to score in over 2.5, -116. We'll see. Kirk has a game total between 3 and 5 goals in this one at -125. Last game of the day, Jack, in Bundesliga is between Köln and Eintracht. Eintracht did cool off a little bit when it comes to scoring goals. They did get a win before the international break. It was a 1-0 narrow win against Mainz. I remember having them on the money line because they were plus money. And it was like 82nd, 83rd minute goal. But Köln has beaten Eintracht in their last 3 straight home games.
Yeah. Look, again, I know we're going to sound like a broken record here, but this is another spot where Cologne have had the international break come at a perfect time, because they lost that big derby to Gladbach right before the break. And really, they haven't been having a bad season. Like, they're mid-table, just come up. I mean, the relegation zone in Bundesliga is Heidenheim, Mainz, and Pauli, which is absurd. You've got Hamburg, who is somehow not in there, Wolfsburg, who are somehow not in there. So yeah, I see both these. When I look at both these teams, automatically I think goals. So I'll look at goals here. I'll take the over 3. Again, the fact that Frankfurt are playing in the week is gonna it kind of dents my confidence a little bit, but I do think at worst case I'm getting a push here. I really struggle to see this game being a 2-0 or a 1-1 or a 1-0 or 0-0. So yeah, I'll take the over 3 here. I've seen Kirk's pushing it a bit further than me.
Yeah, he's taking the over 3.5 at plus 130. This person was probably a no bet game for me. I did take Köln on the double chance at home. But yeah, it's minus 169. It's definitely not something I would put my money on since it's so juiced. Off to the French League One, Jack. We have Lens versus Strasbourg, and this is a game where you and Kirk agree on. You are actually going with the home team.
Yeah, I just respect them at home. I love my Stras. But just too inconsistent on the road. You don't really know what to expect. That Rennes 4-1 defeat for Strasbourg a couple of weeks ago was a big wake up call. I think I need to stop trusting them so much on the road, because I think I took them in that game. Either way, I mean, Lens, they've been excellent at home, right? They're one of the best teams in the league this season in terms of home form. In fact, both of these teams are. I mean, Strasbourg are second in the league at home. Lens are third in the league at home. But on the
Yeah.
road, Strasbourg fall to 8th. So, yeah, this is just another case of another really arguably better team at home at plus money. I'll take it.
Yeah, this is a question like, do you go with the home team that's playing really good defensively and offensively at home? Or do you go with the away team that has the potential to outscore anyone? But then again, they would need to be very effective when playing on the road against such a good home team like Lens is. I'm going with the over 2.5, minus 152. But now when I think about it, I think the over hits only if we see both teams scoring in this one. So
Yeah.
maybe push it to both teams to score an over 2.5. Otherwise, if Lens keeps a clean sheet, this is a 1-0, 2-0 game at the most, I think. And maybe taking Lens on the money line is the better option here. Rennes is hosting Monaco in the next game. Jack, Rennes actually quite solid this season. They're sitting 8th right now with 18 points. At home, they are very solid defensively as well, with only 6 conceded goals in 6 games, while Monaco a lot better at home than they are on the road.
Yeah. Again, just a matter of Monaco score on the road, but they concede a ton of goals in the meantime. And, Rennes as well. They kind of do the same. They scored 11 goals at home already this season. Like I said, I mean, 4 of those did come against Strasbourg, so I guess it's kind of inflated off that game. But I just see goals here. Monaco, we know how bad Monaco have really been this season compared to their expectations. Starting to bring it back, and then they lose to Paris, and can't remember who it was at the end of that little stint before the international break, but they definitely lost their last 2. I'll just take both teams to score and over here.
Yeah, and Monaco's also playing in the Champions League next week. They're going to Paphos, so they're going to Cyprus.
That's a long trip.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
had to
pretty much the
remind myself.
furthest east you can go in the Europa League, other than
No, no, no. Paphos. is on Cyprus. It's an island in the Mediterranean. You're thinking
Yeah,
of
yeah, that's
Kairat.
east, right?
Yeah, but not that far east though.
It's the furthest
Like
east you can
Kairat
go
is
in the Europa League, other than Turkey, for sure.
well, no, this is the Champions League, right?
Yeah, excuse me, Champions League. Yeah, but who
Yeah,
who,
but
who do you play
no,
more East in Champions League? Galatasaray. That's about it, right?
Kairat, Kairat and Karabakh are
Oh yeah,
further
of
east.
course. Yeah, true, true. I didn't think about those the bags
Yeah,
or so on. The
yeah,
carabangs.
they are like Kairat is holy crap, that's pretty close to China, I think, in Kazakhstan,
Kazakhstan, isn't
right?
it? So, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, in this game, I'm taking both teams to score in over 2.5 as well. Minus 130. I got it at a slightly better price. So do your shopping, guys, if this is the pick you want. Kirk is taking it in on the double chance at home. He doesn't trust Monaco on the road either, I suppose. So minus 195. It's a parlay piece, I suppose. The last game of the video, Jack, we have PSG versus Le Havre. PSG top teams in the league in France, of course, obviously sitting at the top of the table. 4-1-0 at home so far this season. Scored a lot of goals. Overall, 24 goals in 12 games, so 2 goals on average. They're missing some players for this match, though. I think Dembele is still out. They're playing in the Champions League next week against Tottenham at home. What do you see in this game?
The more I think about this play, the more I hate it because PSG have to play because Marseille are literally like if PSG give
Yeah.
up any points and Marseille win on the same weekend, they're suddenly not leading the league anymore. So yeah, not to mention the Havre have only been losing at halftime and full time on the road once out of 6 games. So yeah, tread carefully. This is like I took this play before I looked at any kind of stats, which is rare for me. I'm just kind of going into it with the same sort of thought process as I did with Bayern and Barca and Liverpool, where you've got that midweek game. You're traveling to Spurs in PSG's case, and they have to get the job done early. Really, they can't be chasing the game. So yeah, juiced. Don't like it. Don't bash me in the comments for it if it doesn't hit, because like I'm saying to you now, take it at your own risk.
Yeah, it would not surprise me for Le Havre to score first in this game. Just catch PSG on the wrong foot, score an early goal, but I don't doubt PSG will come back into it early. And I mean it's hard to predict because without seeing the lineups and whatever, have to be careful. They are playing a hard game in the Champions League. Maybe they rest a few starters or whatever since they're coming off the international break. But over 1.5 goals in the first half, plus 122, I think that's a solid pick, and might even use it as a premium as well. I have a feeling we could see a goal fest here, sort of. Barcola to score plus 115 for Kirk in this one. That's it. Thank you for joining me here, Jack. It was a pleasure. Hopefully, we get Kirk back soon as well for those Champions League games. Hopefully, he's done vacationing and he finally joins us. But that's it, guys. Check out the premium picks. Subscribe, hit that like button. We appreciate it. Uh, Let us know in the comments if you have any questions or whatever. We'll be answering if you have anything interesting. And that's it. Join us in the next video. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.